Before getting into my revival journey, I just to share few words about myself. At present, I am living in Karkala since last 2016. Before that, I used to live at Bengaluru with my family. I used to work as a part-time lecturer there. And being conscious of impact of our lifestyle on environment, my family was leading or trying to lead a simple, sustainable lifestyle. I used to grow vegetables and grow plants in my roof in the roof of our apartment. Used to do composting, and we used to buy natural products from directly from farmers, and we used to wear handmaids, khadi, that kind of things. And because of our interest in handmaids, handlooms, we got in touch with the Charaka organization. You all might have heard about that. And used to buy clothes, natural dyed clothes from Desi also. Next, we thought of further simplifying our life and decided to move to Karkala. So in 2016, we moved to Karkala. So before that only, I used to work in a computer science department as lecturer. But I wanted to further slower my life, and I stopped using my smartphone also. I deactivated my social media accounts, and we moved to Karkala. I left my job. Since 2016, I started living a slow life. I started growing various vegetables. I'm still interested in growing edible greens and climate tolerant plants. And also I'm interested in growing root vegetables and all. And also I started interested in pickling, fermentation, that kind of thing. I was into baking also. So this is how my life was. We got a call from Charaka organization. They said, we are inviting few weavers from Udupi, and please come along with us and for a meeting. They knew my interest in handmade clothes. They said, you're all interested in handloom, but your own cloth, fabric, the Udupi Saree is dying. So you have to do something for that. So I was also thinking, instead of, I have to do something to the community. So myself, that time also we are in, because of our interest in sustainability and all, we are in touch with many people who are interested in that kind of life. So we formed, myself and my husband BC Shetty, formed a trust, Kadike Trust. So the objective was to nurture sustainable rural livelihood practices and also document indigenous knowledge. As a first project, we took this Udupi Saree revival. And before that, just want to tell, when I was working as a lecturer at Mangalore, once my husband bought a saree for me from a nearby society, Mangalore society. And he said, the society MD said that, and he met the weaver also, Narayan. He said that this is the last saree of that weaver. So will not be, because of his old age, he will be stop weaving, and this will be the last saree. That time I didn't know that it's a Udupi saree, but we felt very bad and sad that this would be the last one, and there are no more weavers to weave that. And still I have that saree. I'm very fond of it. It's a beautiful checkered saree. So I kept this as a memory of that, and never thought that one day I would be working for Udupi Saree. First we start with the government department. We asked how many weavers are there in Udupi, and even they didn't know the actual number. They said there are around 150-200 weavers. Then we started visiting weaver societies. From there we collected the contact details of weavers. We visited their homes. We interacted with them, gathered the information. And finally, for our shock, we found that in 2 districts, there were only 42 weavers, and 99% of them were above 65. And there were no weaver was below 50, and even in their family, even 1 or 2 weavers, only 1 weaver was active. Once in Dakshina Kannada and Udupi, handloom weaving was the second largest profession, and there were more than 10,000 families, not individual weavers, families engaged in weavers. But now they're left with only 42 weavers. And at one place, one weaver almost cried. He said, he has a loom shed. He said, since last 20 years, my children never entered into this loom shed. They are not happy about me working there. In most of the houses, they converted, even we visited weavers who had left the profession, and they converted their old looms into cot and door doors and windows like that. Even weavers also discourage children from learning weaving. No one is appreciating their work. There's no respect for their work. In addition to that, they were getting very low wage also. So only few weavers are left now. So once there were more than 8 weaver societies and 1 KHD's unit. But in 2018, finally, when gathered all the information, we found that there were only 42 weavers. These are the various weaver society. In some weaver society, there were only 2 weavers. In some society, 12. And KHDC, they are varied by Udupi Saree. They have outlet Priyadarshini. They had 14 weavers. And all these aged weavers, they were working out of passion for their profession. And their children were discouraged, asking them to leave that because they need a full room for that. And also that cut sound from weave is disturbing to their family, modern family life. And they were forcing their parents to stop. Still, they, out of passion, they were engaged in weaving. And once they stopped, there would be no continuity. So we felt the urgency of reviving it. But how? Actually, we started this with the assurance of Charaka, but somehow we couldn't continue with them. So we spoke with all the MDs of different weaver societies. There were 5 weaver societies. They said once these weavers stop, so we'll stop producing. And almost already 3 weaver society had stopped producing also. Before that, a few information about Udupi Saree. Udupi Saree is a GI tagged product from South Canada and Udupi. Because of the GI, only weavers of this region can produce this. Weaving actually started in around 18th century. The people, weavers migrated from Tamil Nadu and also to Tamil Nadu, they believe from Andhra Pradesh. Those who settled here, those who came as, to sell their product, they settled here and started. Some migrated to Kerala and some settled in coastal Karnataka and they started weaving there. They used to use pit looms for weaving and they were weaving simple fabrics using that pit looms. And in 1844, Basil machine came to Bengaluru region and they introduced frame kind of looms. Because this region is called as Malabar, this special loom is called as Malabar frame loom. And also there was one Mr. Halil, he introduced the fly shuttle. Otherwise, before that, he used to throw the shuttle. In some place, they throw the shuttle while weaving. Here, they use the peg to control the shuttle movement. And also, they introduced a bench-like structure to the loom. Till then, only Shettigar community, they are called as Padmashali, they belong to Padmashali community, Shettigas. They used to weave. Because of the modified loom, it's a comfortable bench-like structure, many people from other community also started and joined this weaving profession because of the influence by Mahatma Gandhi's freedom movement and cooperative movement. 8 weaver societies were formed in this region. Udupi Weaver Society was the first weaver society and Shivaldi Weaver Society the last one. Because Udupi society was leading all other societies, they used to call this as Udupi sarees. So Udupi saree usually comes in 2 designs, with the dobi border or without dobi border. And also it comes with motif or without motif. And another one is the checkered design. For that they use a special kind of setup known as, it's called as cut border saree also. And they weave sarees in a single ply combed cotton. Yeah, using single ply combed cotton. In North Karnataka, Ilakal saree, they use twisted yarns. But Udupi sarees are one using single ply yarn. After the preparation of warp, to get you can see the pallu portion, it comes in a bright color, darker shade. Another striking feature of Udupi sarees, the body will be in light shade and border and pallu will be in darker contrast shade. To attain that darker shade in pallu portion, after the preparation of warp, in one warp maybe there will be 30-35 sarees. After the preparation of warp, before weaving, they tie-dye the pallu portion and dip in the dye to get the darker shade. So first picture will show how after warp, how the pallu will look like. While weaving and while passing the weft yarn, so that pallu portion will appear in dark shade. This is one unique feature that practiced by Udupi weavers. And another practice is applying the starch. Usually the weavers apply the starch before weaving. But here Udupi saree weavers, they apply the starch while weaving It's known as on-loom weaving. Means they weave for a certain length, they stop weaving, apply the starch, let it to slightly dry, then they have to using hand, they have to separate also. Again, they have to start. So it's not a continuous weaving process. They have to stop in between to apply the this one. And also for this they have to use a special brush. It's fishtail palm. From that they collect the fiber, and the brush is made using the fiber collected from that palm tree. And this, as I already said, in checkered check saree, they will see this cut border thing. Like that check, the pattern will not enter the border. So border will appear in solid color. And one more striking feature of Udupi sarees, that is a dotted line on the pallu portion. If you see carefully, examine, you will see the dotted lines. That using per rib technique, by continuously pressing the pedals, they generate this kind of pattern. And one more thing, the motifs. So like we have Bengali sarees, we have Jamdani. Here we have, they call it as butta saree, like that. The motifs are hand woven. And each saree would be unique. There are no two saree would be identical in a single saree, okay, because of these hand woven motif. And as I said, this is the Malabar frame loom, which is used to weave Udupi sarees. Using this loom, they can weave any kind of fabric, from simple towel to bedspreads, sarees, any kind of fabrics can be woven using this study, Malabar frame loom. These are the pattern of the old sarees they were collected from the old sample, 30, 40, maybe around 50 years ago. They were weaving different kind of designs. And these are also some special kind of technique they are using for the cotton sarees. The two weavers are required. One weaver will weave one border and one body, and another weaver will other border, like that. This is similar to the Koravai saree from Tamil Nadu. So, okay, now they stopped. There are no weavers who could weave that kind of saree. And also there is a special pearl motif border, that kind of saree. Now, when the one weaver was weaving the last batch of saree, when we started revival work, and he stopped weaving that also. Now we couldn't find that. We recently asked for that Adobe kind of thing, and they lost it actually. They threw it down. So we can't, I think, recreate it. And once they also introduced Ikat saree also around 50, 60 years ago. Till 1980, Udupi saree had seen a glorious period. There was a very high demand for sarees, and weavers were experimenting with their sarees. They were creating different design sarees because of the introduction of power loom, because of the changing styles. And there is a real estate boom in South Canada. Lots of education institutions were introduced. Hospitals were built. There was most of the weavers we can see, they are working in some hospital or some other places, because they pay better remuneration for them. So it's sad to see, but we can't ask the weavers to work for around 200 daily wage of 200 rupees, like that. So, and also because of the opportunity to learn or go for higher education, most of their children are highly educated. They are all in a good condition. That's why they are forcing their parents to stop weaving also. Still, in spite of all this pressure, they're still working. So process of making this, like any other fabrics, before dyeing, he has to cover the fabric. That means they have to remove all the impurities. For that, they have to boil the yarn. You can see the gray yarn there at 100 degrees centigrade, and you have to soak the water in a boiled water for 1 day. After that, they are using chemical dye, nephthol or VAT. Any one of these dyeing method is used. VAT is more eco-friendly compared to nephthol. And one more, these are the two dyers actually. They are the only two dyers now who are active. That is one more thing. In 2 districts, we have only 2 dyers. Both of them are working in their retirement age because there are no dyers. First, they have to wind the yarns using the rate. Usually, the yarn comes from the mill in the hang form. They convert into bobbins. All the bobbins which required for lengthwise. So, you know, the weaving means interlacing of warp and weft yarn. Warp yarn will have the design of the saree, how the border should come, how the body should come, where the line should go, all those things. All these, for those warp, the required yarns are winded using this process. And this is the fern winding, that is weft yarn. During the time of weaving, the weaver prepare this weft yarn. This is a smaller size bobbin. And this is a very interesting process. This is the warping process where they prepare the lengthwise horizontal yarn, where the border should go, how the design should come, all those things will be decided here. Then one warp will have around 150 meters of yarns. They can produce around 30 to 35 sarees in one warp. And after finishing warping, they have to mark the end of the saree, because while weaving, weaver should know where the next saree starts. And they, after unwinding, saree looks like this. The warp looks like this. It will contain around 30 to 35 sarees. Next, they give the warp to the dyer. So as already said, the dyer tie the pallu portion using rubber tube and dip the pallu portion in the dye. They mount the yarn, prepared yarn, to the warp beam of the loom. Then they have to, if it is a new loom, there is a heel and reed which is used to control the yarns. So here Udupi saree weavers use simple weaving. So they have to, it has a tiny holes. They have to pass each yarn through the that tiny hole. First they have to pass through a heel, then through the reed, which is used to tighten the fabric. So like that. And again, if it's in, this process is known as drafting and denting. Again, two more people are required, skilled people are required for this. So what I'm trying to tell is, weaving is not about controlling the peg and weaving on the loom. Before that, there are lots of works involved. It takes, preparation work itself takes more than 20 to 30 days. Then if it's already existing loom, they need not go through all those heeling, passing through heel and reed. They can just, old warp is tied with the new warp. Just they can tie each yarn, they take each yarn and tie just with the twist of, with the twist using some ash, they tie old pick with the new pick. You can see that after finishing that, you can see the orange one is the old warp, white one is the new warp. Now the loom is ready for weaving. There are multiple movements are there. One, using this peg, they have to control the movement of the shuttle. And using pedal, they control the movement of heel, which move the alternate yarns up and down. If they press the pedal, the alternate yarns go up and down. That right moment, they pull the peg, which carry the pick yarn through the alternate yarns. Then they press the reed and tighten the fabric. And in between, they have to change the design also. They have to different color. It's not a continuous single color. They maybe have to use the checks or lines like that. They have to change the shuttle also in between, like that, or in between they have to weave the motif, like that it continues. So they have to use simultaneously, they have to use their hand, leg, eyes, and also they have to think creatively, and they have to do the weaving work. So a very beautiful process to see. Why I showed this process is, you can see how many people involved in the process of producing this. And so so much skill is involved. So each kind of fabrics, India is home for thousands of different techniques. I promote saree because saree is the garment where the weavers can express their creativity. This is the picture of one weaver who had left the weaving. He has a loom with the unused yarns. So it was lying like that for since more than 20 years. So he could not continue because some reason. So we felt heartbroken. We are very sad. We are shocked. See such a beautiful creative work, but there are no people. When we talk with the local people collecting information, no one knew about existence of weavers in their neighborhood. They almost forgotten. And also we felt very sad. Here is such a unique garment which was giving job to thousands of people in the region, environment, without harming the environment, and so much creativity involved in that. And also it got a GI tag, but went for extinction mode. It was almost at the verge of extinction. Somehow luckily those aged weavers were still weaving that. If they had stopped 20 years or 30 years ago, there were no Udupi saree for us to revive, actually. So we wanted to revive it, to do something. So you can say we don't have any background. We are not from weavers community. The only connection we had is we love handmade products and using handmade products. Other than that, we not had any knowledge about this weaving. Now, a future of our children are under threat because of the climate crisis. So we have to reduce the use of things which use which release, the industries which release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases to the environment. So we have to use handmade products which doesn't need electricity, which doesn't need chemicals to the environment. For example, you see the first picture, you can see the picture of a garment factory. One machine can produce 1,000 meters of fabric. To produce a 2 meter or 3 meter, it takes a weaver 2-3 days. So when a machine can produce so much in a short duration, why have to go for this tedious handmade or hand machines? And also the chemicals that use in producing these clothes. Whenever people ask for saree or fabric, they always ask for the brighter color, more bright, more red, more green. If you want a more darker color, we need to use more harsh chemicals. So it will have a lead and other harsh chemicals. This picture is from the Yamuna river, which has thousands of garment factories. Without treatment, they are directly releasing to the water. That's why we are promoting sustainable fabrics, and handloom, khadi we believe are the future garments. They can have the potential to give jobs to thousands of people locally, that is too without harming the environment and preserving our rich heritage, cultural heritage is extra bonus point, you can say, along with that. That is why we decided to, in any cost, have to revive this. But how? That was a big challenge. Finally, went to Talipadi Weaver Society, Kinnigoli. It was established in 1950. When we visited there, they showed the interest. They also wanted to preserve their tradition. They agreed to work with us. When we went to Talipadi Society, there were 8 weavers. So these are the type of sarees they were produced. Checkered and plain saree, no with the attractive motifs, and no weavers were weaving motifs, only 2 designs. And when we went there, only 2 weavers were working at Weaver Society premise. Now Ananda Shettigar and Mohini Shettigar. And out of 8 weavers, already 5 people had left. Only the Mohini Shettigar is still weaving because of the support and love we are showing towards her work. And we started conversing with the directors, current active weavers and all. When we started, we had a goal that one is we have to increase the number of weavers. For that, we have to see that the existing weavers still continue in the profession, and if possible, bring back the weavers who left the profession. And finally, the last, we never thought that, even if one weaver below age 50 come to learn this, it would be a great achievement at that time. We thought like that. For that, we had to create the market. They were selling these sarees with very low price. They were selling this less than 500 rupees. And if they sell this saree for less than 500, how much weaver would get? Because they are all aged weavers, it take 1.5 to 2 days. They were getting less than 200 rupees. Still they were weaving. I still feel, I think why they were still into that? Because they love their profession. Only because their family profession, they are still in that. And they said they can't, because they started weaving at the age of 15. Slowly they learned by working along with parents, and they don't know any other work also. They don't have formal education also. Most of them have only studied till up to 5th standard like that. So this was the only profession they could do and enjoy. We had to create the market for this. So myself and my husband, we started participating in some exhibition, and also there was a Sante going on, organic mela. And we started reintroducing Udupi saree to the people of that locality. And also sometimes we carried the saree to people who showed the interest to their home also. All these we are doing voluntarily. Slowly people started showing interest. Because earlier the sarees, even people wanted to buy, they were not available. They had to go to society, and most of the people had forgotten where this is available. And those who knew also, they thought that these are for only old people. They used to give as a gift to their ajis. Or before that, people thinking this is for a working class. But now, because of the all cheap sarees, they also stopped buying. So we participated in all these things. And even we conducted awareness talk also, like that. Slowly people started showing interest in Udupi saree. And we continued conversation with the people. We have to boost their morale. We have to tell that there is a hope for this saree, like that. We invited government officials. We conducted a meeting with them, and we gathered all the weavers and different stakeholders of two weaver societies. Like that, continuously we are organizing the program in 2018 and 19. And they are showing interest also, because all they wanted, all these weavers, they are not working for the money. All they needed was the appreciation, the recognition of work that we were able to give, and they started feeling that there is something in your work like that. First, we gave one training program also in 2018. That time we didn't know anything. We asked the society how many days training is required. The society person said 15 days sufficient to learn. So we started a training program, participated, and two people now they joined the society. Others left actually, because we came to know that 15 days is not sufficient to learn this. We conducted a big handloom day celebration. Did a handloom day celebration. Invited design students. We did a jata, everything. Honored the weavers. Then I had to react. All this I was doing using my iPad with this one, a social media activity. Till then I was taking the photo using that. Then I had to activate I purchased a smartphone, activated my social media account, and started writing about Udupi Saree. So in that we started writing about weavers. Then few people showed the interest. Those who are friends, for example, we started with the Arivu school teachers. They purchased saree because they are friend of us. They purchased saree, and with that we posted in a page. Then slowly people start showing interest in Udupi saree. Oh, sarees are still there. We want to buy. Where these sarees are available? Sarees are not available anywhere, because earlier resellers and shopkeepers, they used to purchase and sell, but they almost stopped selling these sarees that time, 20 years ago. So sarees were not easily available. First time had to create a WhatsApp account. Even the society people not had a smartphone. We had to carry the saree to home, take the photos, and used to send the saree photos to the people who showed interest. And till then, from there, then to here, till then, I never asked the people to buy Udupi saree. Throughout my journey, in this journey, I never advertised Udupi saree or asked the people to buy the saree. Whoever showed interest, for them, we share the photo. And we only were packing and sending through poster. That is how we started. We got a tremendous support from the saree enthusiasts. More and more people started showing the interest. So then I had to create a WhatsApp group to share. It was very time consuming to send the photos to each one of them. Now we are able to sell the sarees at a higher price, and that we shared with the society. And now society was able to pay higher remuneration to the weavers. The remuneration also increased, but after 14 years of gap, they gave the bonus to the weavers. Then another thing we did was branding Udupi saree. When I was in Bangalore, once I visited a co-op center. There I found one organic saree. It had a label of weaver. So we introduced that concept in our Udupi saree also. We started with the simple label, that band kind of thing, where we stick the stamp size photo of the weaver. Later we change the design, and that design, the logo gives the interlacing of warp and weft yarn. So the color pattern used is the color of Yaksha sarees. Now people are happy to know about the hands behind their saree. So this way we are able to connect people with the weavers. See, we are showing the photo of the people who are draping and appreciating their saree with the weavers. With the help of Charaka, we introduced naturally dyed saree. I myself designed all these sarees, naturally dyed sarees. Later, as more and more people start purchasing, they started connecting with our saree. Now our saree it's not a saree, just to become an emotion to so many people. And during our revival work, even we never ask for the donation also. But there are few volunteer donors. They on their own they offered to support our project. And also people started celebrating their various events with Udupi saree. Whenever, even the people outside also, this is a way to connect to their roots. They are all connecting with this our Udupi saree. They were feeling it belongs to them, they belong to their culture. Because of this revival work, I got able to connect with so many handloom enthusiasts. They have become a friend, family to me. So we are able to revive this because of the support, because they started purchasing, they were spreading the good words about Udupi saree. And one more thing, there is one special kind of saree known as Yaksha saree. Usually Yaksha saree comes in 8.5 meter length, and it was used by Yakshagana performers. And You know Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, she was a great fan of this Yaksha Saree. She once visited that Manjunatha Shetty long ago, and she asked him to weave that fabric in a saree length, and she promoted that. And in 2019, Craft Council, they contacted me. They came to my house. They asked me to produce the Udupi saree in a shorter length. So that's how we started reintroducing the saree, extra saree. Many people started appreciating this because of that bright color palette of yellow and or magenta. And one more historical thing happened is Krishna of Udupi temple and Durga Parameshwar Katti temple, they were decorated in Udupi saree. They usually use silk sarees. They want a pure saree for that. Since in Udupi saree they use chemical dye, they are not using that. And now all the people are buying the sarees. They are all most of them are from Bengaluru, then Mysuru and Hyderabad, Kolkata, Delhi, like that. But local people are still not buying the saree. They had some hesitation and using these sarees. They were into all expensive silk sarees and other kind of sarees, and they were feeling just, even the weavers, first time when we visited society, I was the only person who was wearing Udupi saree. That the saree I told, no, the first saree I got. And when I asked why you are not wearing saree, they say, tell that you are wearing this saree like that. They ask. They thought that these sarees are now inferior kind of thing. It has no value. They didn't know the value of their own saree. Even the people of that region, we requested the people of the temple to decorate their Krishna with the Udupi saree. So for that we created a naturally dyed Udupi saree, because we convinced them this is a pure kind, because no chemicals are used, so we can use saree to decorate God. That's how it happened. So then few customers, few people who gifted a saree, means they used to offer the saree to God. And from then people of local also started. All these, we got a tremendous support from the reporters also. Once as we started our revival journey, many journalists approached us, and they were continuously writing article about our journey. They wrote about this also, and started getting demand from local. The local people started visiting Weaver Society and asking sarees. The weavers are under the impression that there is no respect to their profession, and their own children are not recognizing their work. But we know weavers, they are doing such a wonderful job. Just they don't ask for any special facility. So we wanted to recognize their skill and wanted to honor them. So we started to give an award to the weavers. We started at Talipadi Weaver Society. We started giving Uttaman Ekare Award. This again had an impact on their children and community. Now they understood the value of that, what their parents are doing. And instead of forcing them to stop, now they allowed them to continue. And weavers also felt proud about their work, started feeling proud about their work. Then we have a special Sanjeeva Shettigar, Sanjeevanna. He came to weaving after 9 years break. So once we introduced a natural dyed saree, where we did the customization. He's at the age of 72. He should be able to understand our requirement, and in one war, he could be able to weave different kind of design and different kind of color also. So we arranged a special program to release this saree. In that we honored Sanjeevanna. For first time, the weavers who participated in the program, they came in Udupi saree also, you can see. Now they started wearing Udupi saree and also display the product. We did the exhibition there. And this also attracted the people, local people. And whatever profit we generated, we distributed among weavers. This is how we work also now. Then we started continuing honoring the weavers of other society. We honored the weavers of Padupandamuru, Udupi and Shivaldi. Even we honored the dyers, those who do the warping work, pre-loom works, we honored them also. So like that, as I said, now the demand for the Udupi saree increased. Weavers started getting better remuneration. People started recognizing their work. Because of all this, few weavers came back to weaving. So Sanjeevanna came back after 8 years. You can see Venkateshwarna, he came back after 20 years. Bharati after 15 years. Like that, many weavers came back to weaving. But still there were no weavers below age 50. Unless new weavers come and transfer of knowledge happen, there is no chance of revival. At that time, NABARD, they heard about our work and they approached that the AGM Uma Bharati. She called me and she asked what kind of support is required. I said we need to train new weavers. Where are these new weavers? I didn't know that time. And she said, find 20 weavers, we'll support you in organizing training. I said, it's very difficult to find. I don't know whether there are people who could are interested in learning. We can start with 5 weavers, but we can't find below 45. Somehow, luckily, she agreed, found 5 people, and we also purchased few old looms from the weavers who had left, and we refurbished and kept in the society. And we started a training program. After one week training, COVID lockdown happened. So we had to stop. But that time I was in touch with them. I was boosting the toe. I was talking to them. We will continue after this and all. Then after lockdown, like 5 more people showed interest. So our number from 5, that in first batch, they're in the age group of somewhere between 50-55 like that. And second batch, there were people at the age 30-35 also. 3 are, the leftmost 3 are entirely new to weaving. And 2 more had a knowledge of weaving. That time also we thought 2 months training is sufficient. We took 2 months training for them. But after training, we understood that 2 months is not sufficient. So I requested NABARD to increase the duration. Then they said, find another 10 people. And surprisingly, we could able to find 10 more people and increase the duration, and 19 weavers and 1 dyer. Because there is a shortage of dyers also, we trained 1 dyer also. So we trained them for a duration of 6 months. According to NABARD, 6 months, but we extend training, we conduct up to 8 months. And youngest one was 28 years old. Now, many of them are without any weaving background. 2 of them are diploma graduates, and one had a BSc degree, and she had to stop because of her health problem. And all others are still weaving. You can see Karishma met all of them, and they're happily engaged in the weaving. We encourage them to learn not only weaving and all other preloom works. Otherwise, most of the aged weavers, they know only weaving. They don't do preloom works. But we encourage them to learn all preloom works because there's a shortage of preloom workers also. And for 1 year after training program, they joined Weaver Society, and they were paid according to the length of fabric they weave. But some of them are still slow in weaving. They all learned weaving and all the works. So we supported them for a period of 1 year with the wage compensation. Now all of them gained the skill. Most of them are now became an expert weaver. Now most of them can design their own sarees. They can do all the preloom works as a team. All of them they don't have space at home to keep the loom. They all work in a society premise. As a team, if you give any task to them, they can do that. And also, now we have skilled artisans who came back after many years. They transferred their knowledge to these new weavers. So now still they are in the society. Both are working together. There is a setup where we have both aged weavers as well as new weavers. So that knowledge transfer is taking place. They are transferring their skill, all the skills, how in olden days weavers used to learn. In that setup, all these weavers gain the skill. And also taught them the khadi workshop. We conducted khadi workshop, how to draw the yarn from the cotton and all. Now we can see they're doing different kind of sarees within the framework of GI. And this is one interesting event organized in one handloom celebration during that. Through trust, we thought that, so that time I was doing natural dyeing sarees and all. We gifted natural sarees to our all new weavers, and they walked the ramp in not less than any model. You can see the video on our Facebook, nicely choreographed by one student. Now after this, many students are doing the project also. One student did the choreography also. So they walked the ramp, and also they did a performance in a program. And there is one weaver who wrote a poem, Nekararu Now Nekar, we probably had written, I'll show you at the end. They perform through Yakshagana, they perform that also. They know what they are doing, the impact, the environment aspect of their work, and they are they feel proud about their work and they're happy to work together in their society. All these activities used to boost the morale of weavers. Now they know many people are appreciating their work. They are not just weavers, they are creative people. So people are understanding what they are doing. So it's not like any other place, how happily they engage in their work. And later, last 1.5 years ago, we introduced a website also. For this, we got 60% support from the NABARD also. NABARD is happy about our work. They even in the national level, they consider our honor in 2021. They honored our trust as one of the best NGOs. And I was invited as a guest from the Karnataka in an online program. I was the only one. I was allowed to give the talk, and in that event, surprisingly they announced that Kadike Trust is one of the best NGO, and they gave support to build up this website. We collected all the information about Udupi Saree, and we put this in a website. You can see the photos of all the weaver societies in this website and information about our work also. This impact was there in other societies also. Demand for Udupi Saree increased in other weaver societies. Few weavers came back, joined their society also. Number of weavers increased there also. And many weavers still joining, many age weavers are still joining Talipati society, and number is increasing. And even now, the weavers community also started showing the interest. So they also now started training program at Udupi. Recently, they finished the training for 20 people, 25 people. Out of them, 19 are working. And also, our work and our river story attracted weavers of other region also. Weavers from other clusters also visiting to learn about. They are all happy that the name the weaver society are getting, that we are recognizing weaver, we are respecting them, honoring them. So they are also happy about work, and to learn about our work, they are visiting Talipati society. So these are all weavers from different clusters. And also now students also started showing interest in working with us. There are many students from NIF Design Institute and many other organizations from all over India are coming to Talipati society and doing the design. Students learn from weavers, and weavers also now learn how to design new product or create new products like that. So it is a win-win situation for both weavers and students. And along with this, we also wanted our dyers and weavers to learn natural dyeing. So first time before Corona in February, we conducted a natural dye workshop. And Sangamitra Desai Gadekar, at the age of 72, she traveled from Gujarat and she stayed with us for 10 days, and she taught natural dyeing to dyer. Along with her, we also learned. That's where my interest in natural dye started. I never thought that I was producing natural dye sarees. I was designing, and I never thought that I could dye one day. So not dye means DYE, dye. Okay, so seeing her enthusiasm, it motivated me to learn natural dyeing. So luckily at that time, in 21, I got a scholarship from Canada, that Mami School was from Canada. She is my mentor, and I learned dyeing. You can see beautiful butterfly there. All these colors were created during my dyeing class. My daughters made that butterfly using the samples, dye samples. It shows we can create any kind of colors from red, blue. Red is very difficult color. I could able to, through our class, I could able to achieve this red color also. This is the butterfly created from the sample I created during my natural class. It's an online class. And I able to design a stole, and Sadhana had woven that, and we were able to gift and send it to my mentor at Canada, and she was very happy to get that sample. And also Sangamitra Desai Gadekar, she has given hands-spun yarns, that khadi yarns, and we could able to create the first khadi Udupi saree also. It was very challenging work, but we was able to do that. So these are the yarns dyed by me with the help of dyers. We introduced a areca dyed saree also. It got and we released that in a big event. Now there is a very good demand for our areca dyed products, because farmers, those areca farmers also have shown interest in our Areca products. Recently, means last October 2nd, we started another training program at Bengaluru. Most of them belongs to scheduled tribe community, and all the entire community are happy about our work, and they participated in our program. So they learned weaving. You can see they're all first time learners. They don't have any weaving background. They're not from weaving community, but they mastered the skill, and they can produce, they can do all kind of work, even the difficult warping work, pre-loom works, and according to the design given to them. So this is the team. It's a small village, very interior place where there is no job opportunity. This is just example where in a remote place also with little space, we can create a sustainable job opportunity for the local people. They don't need a very big setup. You need not establish a factory to provide a job to the people. And this is a success. You can see the product, the natural dyed shawl there, stores and shawls woven by them. Recently, I got award for a fig fabric, and I discussed the design with the Saroja, and they materialized that. They started a warping work also. So these are the product of that by those who are doing the newly trained weaver, created by our newly trained weaver. We gave a special label to their product, Bagal. Bagal means that renje flower, that bakula. They have a sacred grove there with a very big tree of bakula. So for that, we gave that name, Bagal, to their product. And number of weavers, you can see the change in number of weavers. You can see this is the recent figure. Some are still learning, but we have around 112 people who are engaged in weaving now. And most of them are women, and they are below, most of them are below age 50 also. And our revive work, which we started 5.5 years ago, is a success. So now what we dreamt of, that we were able to achieve. Number of weavers increased, their remuneration increased. More and more people are showing interest. There is a huge market for Udupi sarees now. And so and many youngsters have joined weaving, and we know there is a hope for revival. You can see these are the senior weavers who wanted to discontinue in 2018, but still active at the age of more than 75, 80, 85 and all. Udupi saree is still breathing because of the passion that these age weavers had. They gave us the opportunity to revive this saree. And many young weavers also have joined. So most of the time, whenever sometimes some customer asks for the saree and they say, we want to help weavers, we want to support them, that's why we are buying saree. Then I tell them, it's actually other way. Actually, weavers are supporting us by producing sustainable fabric. They are helping us. So it is not our duty to pay the fair price to the saree. Don't bargain with them. Buy the saree from them and drape them proudly. Not only just for small, even you won't be able to drape it daily or regularly, but whenever you participate in some events or function, you can drape. Now since from the beginning, I was always into handloom and handmade products, but once I started this revival product, most of the time I wear Udupi saree only. Even if I go to some marriage function or any other event, I wear only Udupi saree. And now I am happy that I am able to wear saree that is dyed and designed by me also. Once I was just totally unaware of the process involved in Udupi saree, but now I understand the process involved, how they do. So this revival project, along with this revival project, even is able to, I also able to learn about this entire process. I mentioned about Sadhana, poem, that Nekararu Now Nekar. This is the poem written by Sadhana. Not only Sadhana, all the weavers feel proud to say Nekararu Now Nekararu. As I said, this is my revival journey. So I'm very happy that I'm able to share my experience with you.